So today we are going to discuss about firmware development. So before taking you through this firmware development drive, so let me uh, take some background of the actual requirement of firmware development. Okay, so this I'm getting, okay, yeah. So if you just take systems available in industry, right? So we have. So I'm not talking about the firmware development. So let's discuss about the systems available in the industry, and then we'll discuss the importance of each system, and then we'll come back to firmware development side. Okay. So basically, if you see any gadgets or any devices which is available to the user or which is available in the market, so kind of like starting from remote control, right? Which is tiny device, very small device, starting from remote control to rocket launcher or any satellite or anything you take. So those are categorized into some few systems, so different systems. So like we have microcontroller based systems, we have ATAS based systems, and general operating system based systems. So when there is a specific sequence of commands, sequence of commands you want to give, you don't have multitasking kind of, right? So that time we go for microcontroller. So let's take a remote control. So when you are increasing volume or decreasing volume, that time you want to do any you are not going to do channel change, right? So you are just doing a specific task, only one task you are doing at a time. And when you press some buttons, that time only button will be pressed, you are not going to do some other operations. Okay, so sequential operation you are doing there, or you are doing some exclusive operation, right? So those kind of operations can be done by a microcontroller. But if you have some kind of deterministic timing operations, so let's say some heartbeat, there will be some heartbeat device, right? So that device will be placed in your heart, so if there is some issue with the heart, and that particular device has to work precisely, means within a particular time frame, it has to, means whatever time frame is decided, within that time frame only it has to work. So it should work in deterministic time. Rocket launcher, if you are launching the rocket, then whatever microsecond, there should not be any gap of microsecond also. So whatever time you have decided, that time only it has to launch, or whatever operations you have decided, that time only that operation has to be performed. So that kind of systems will be designed and developed on ATAS based systems, so real time operating system based systems. And then general operating system comes. So like you have laptop, you have mobile phone, you have some TV, right? uh, and you have some systems where even if there is a 1 or 2 milliseconds or some few seconds gap is there, then that doesn't that won't affect anything. But satellite launcher, and if it is not working within a specific time, you may have heard about Chandrayaan 2 failure. Okay, it's because of small glitches in the algorithm that complete uh, project itself is failed, not completely, partially it is failed. Okay, so whatever operation we want to do, it should perform within a specific time. In that case, we go for RTAS. But some laptop, if I am just opening a my PowerPoint presenter here now, this is my application. I want to just open this application. If it opens after few seconds, that is also okay for me. It won't affect any in my life, right? It won't affect. It won't make big difference. So that kind of systems will be designed in operating system, in general operating systems like Windows or Linux, Ubuntu or Fedora or iOS. You take any operating system. Okay. So that is about three different categories of systems is available in the industry. Okay. Now coming to applications, means whatever you hardware you have, you may have a display hardware, you may have a sensor, you may have some RAM, ROM, CPU, GPU, you may have n number of hardware, maybe ADC, DAC, whatever peripherals you have. Uh, so the ultimate goal is those hardware will be used by the applications. What is application? The software which is written for the user to interact, that is application. Like in your mobile phone you have camera application, you have music player application, you have Wi-Fi application, you have different n number of applications, settings, contacts, calendar, n number of applications are available in your mobile phone, right? So those applications are designed for user, designed developed for the user. But background services, whatever background services are running, so that, do you need really care about it? No. So those are just services which will provide the services to your application. So application, the user who are working on the application, right? User interacting with the hardware through some applications. Now I want to play some music, means there is a speaker, from speaker I want to hear some music. So you will be opening music player application and you are just playing the music. So ultimate goal of you is, you means user, ultimate goal of user is to play some music from the speaker. So you are interacting with the speaker. If you are capturing a picture, let's say some image you are capturing, so that time you want to interact with the camera. How do you interact? So this camera is some hardware, but how do you interact with the hardware directly? You cannot. So for that reason you have some software which is called application. So camera application you have. So ultimate goal of any hardware is to provide services to the user. And how user will interact with the hardware means through the application. Now we are coming little bit down. So I have WhatsApp, I have camera. So from WhatsApp also I can interact with the camera. Means I can open camera, I can do video calling, or I can take picture from the WhatsApp itself. You have a camera, from camera also, camera application also, you can open camera, you can take picture, you can record video, you are doing the same task. Means with camera independent application you are doing the same task. In WhatsApp you have some sort of feature, there also you are doing the same operation, means recording the video and capturing the images, both are doing the same operation. So ultimate code is same, more or less same. Okay, so now this camera application guy has to write his own code to capture the image, to capture the video, and this WhatsApp application guy also has to do the same operation, same code he has to write. So redundant code. So why do we need to have the redundant code? Not required. We can have a single code, single copy can be used by multiple applications. Okay, the ultimate goal of those applications is to interact with the camera device. Camera is some hardware. Okay, but here at a time can you take multiple pictures? Means at a time I am not telling that sequentially. At a time can you take multiple pictures? No. So one application is given a permission, means other application has to be blocked. So who will take care about that? So that whole thing will be taken care by the driver. So you are writing some driver where you have some standard APIs, like you have printf, scanf in your C program. You have standard APIs here also in driver. By using, if I want to capture the image, I can call just API to capture the image. And some other guy, means like printf, he can use take picture API. He can use, or he can call that API to take the picture by passing the parameter. Okay, and if some WhatsApp guy also wants to do the same thing, he just can use the API. He no need to develop the whole code. Okay, that is how your driver is helping there. And serializing the data means I have only one camera, and multiple applications wants to interact. So I have to give the permission to only one application, not multiple applications. So where that logic is, that care will be taken by the your driver itself, means Linux driver or any Windows driver. Those drivers itself will take care. Okay, so here you are running multitasking, means you are doing multiple tasks. You are running multiple thread, multiple task, or event driven programming. You do whatever you call it is. Okay, so multiple operations you are doing, means on a single device you are doing multiple operations, or multiple applications is interacting with a single device. So here, to avoid the malfunctioning of the device or to protect the device and give smooth transition to your application, there is a driver who will take care about all of these things. Okay, so this kind of operations, this kind of applications or drivers can be written in operating system based devices. Okay, like RTOS and general OS kind of device you have. So operating system you have as a middleman in between application and hardware here, right? But what is firmware? Now you take, as I told you, right? So you have a remote control. Remote control functionalities are very limited. In your house, you may have AC, you may have refrigerator, you may have washing machine, you may have some chimney, or you may have some devices, right? You have TV, you have different n number of devices available in your home itself, right? So if I take washing machine, and whatever remote control is available to control my washing machine, it will control only washing machine. It won't control my refrigerator or some my AC, right? So the task is predetermined. The task is already decided to do a certain thing. Okay, and its purpose is very limited. So that kind of systems can be developed by microcontroller. So now, if you take a remote control, it's very cheaper. Okay, in 200, 300 or 100 rupees also you will get the remote control. Then in that case, you cannot put a component which is very costly. So in any system, if you take some components like memory, RAM, ROM, right? Those are CPU, GPU. Those are very costly components. So you cannot put more costly components in a cheaper devices. Okay, so like you have very less memory, external memory or internal memory. You have very less memory, and for that, in that case, and your particular task is to just define specific thing, work or you implement specific thing, right? You just want to implement the remote control functionality, so you're not doing multitasking there. So in that case, you no need to have an operating system in place. So when you don't have an operating system, you don't need more memory. When you don't need more memory, so you can write very small task, you can write very small code. So that code you can directly write on the peripherals. Okay, you can write directly your code on the hardware. You no need to use any APIs in between. You can directly write your code on hardware. That is called firmware code. Okay, that is firmware. So how do you develop the firmware? How do you develop the firmware? So that we will learn. Okay, yeah. So I hope you understood the background of firmware development and the different available systems and what is application, what is the driver. Driver is the common APIs like your printf, scanf, strlen and kind of APIs, uh, which is provided to the application to develop his or to serve his purpose, application purpose. Okay. So in this course, I will be taking through you embedded systems. What is the difference between a microcontroller, microprocessor, and system on chip? Then you will understand the difference between uh, firmware and software. More or less same nowadays, but there is a small difference. Okay, and then this is already covered, but again I will cover that. What is the difference between firmware application and firmware driver? We'll see this. And if you see firmware, hardware based means if you're writing some code for hardware, right? So that code should be very optimized and it should give good performance. So if you want to get good performance, then there is a language called C programming language which will give you better performance than all other languages. Not assembly, but mid to high level languages. C will give better performance. So most of the embedded code you will be writing in C programming, C and C++. So if you can understand C better, C++ is easily doable. Okay, so we will understand very important keywords of C, so that in interview also it will be helpful for you. So remember that this course is not only give you how to develop the firmware and just leave you. Okay, it will create some or it will give you good insight of each and everything, so that when you go for any interview, you can clear that interview or you can understand the question and you can answer it. Okay, And then how C startup means, we will say that yeah, I have written some main program, main function, and my program, when I run my program, it will start from main, but it is not actually. So internally it starts from somewhere. So how it starts and what happens during that time, whenever your code is loading, right? Whenever your program is loading in the system, what happens? That you will be, I will be taking through you. Then people will say that yeah, most of the resumes you can see, I'm expert in embedded C, I'm expert in general C. So what is the difference between embedded C and general C? More or less same, but very few things are extra, or some important things are added in embedded C. Okay, that we'll see. And then communication protocols, actually we have a number of protocols, but we are going to cover very few protocols and basic protocols. If you can understand this, then understanding others are very easy. So protocol is nothing but some set of rules. So it's generally protocol word we will use everywhere, right? In security systems also we can use protocols, or in politics also people use protocols. Okay, so rules, some rules are defined, so as per that rule only communication has to happen. Okay, so I2C is one of the protocol, in that some set of rules is defined. So when master and slave, or master and, you can say, slave devices, okay, so if they want to communicate, they have to follow the same rule. Okay, same rule means first bit is this, second bit is this, third bit is that, next 8 bits are this. So kind of, so it's predefined. Okay, and everybody both has to exchange the data in the same format, then only they will understand, otherwise they cannot understand. So we will be focusing on these protocols, but we will focus more on SPI, SPI protocol. Okay, then I will be take you through the opportunities available with firmware. And believe me, if you are not if you are just going through this course, even you are not working in firmware, if you want to work in some driver, that is also possible with this course. Okay, so let's start. So system means, you know already, right? What is system? Anything, anything which you want to perform in a systematic way. Okay, that is called system. System is an arrangement where all of its components work together to perform one or more tasks, one or more defined tasks. Okay, so we, before only we decide what to do. Okay, so then only we will be designing the system. So that is in general what is the system. Embedded system is here hardware plus software. So this is generic system, you can take this everywhere. Okay, in real life also you can consider this as a system. Generic system is what this. Okay, embedded system. So embedded system is a combination of hardware and software which is designed to perform a specific task. Here also you want to get a perfect, particular task. Like I want to design AC. So what is the job of AC? Just it has to give you cooling effect, right? In indoor cooling effect. So that is the outcome of your design, and you have to have certain hardware which will give you cool effect. Okay, which hardware and whatever supporting things you will use, right? So you have to gather all those things and design a system to get this output out of it, right? A remote control. My remote control, I am designing a remote control for TV. For TV, what is the purpose? Volume increase and decrease, channel change, or selecting a particular channel means you have to provide all the numbers, right? Searching for particular maybe some series you want to search, so search operation has to be provided, right? So that remote control has to uh, perform all these operations, means it has to provide all the features to perform all these operations, right? You have to design the system like that. But when you go for AC remote, it just increase the AC and decrease the AC, or if you want to see what is the room temperature that you want to see, right? Very limited functionalities. So first of all you have to decide what you want to do, and then based upon that you get the hardware and implement the corresponding software for that. Okay, and so firmware. So whatever firmware you are writing, right, embedded or embedded system, you say just. So whatever embedded system you are writing, so it should be low cost. It should be low cost and it should run within a specific time. Okay, when I press, let's say volume, I just want to increase the volume. Now I'm increasing volume and the action is taken after 1 hour. Do you really take that system? You won't go for that system, right? So it should run within a specific time. Okay, 1 microsecond to 100 microsecond or 1 millisecond to 100 millisecond, this task can be done. Okay, then I will go with that for microcontroller systems. But ATAS, it's not like that. It has to, whenever I just press the button, it has to happen. Whatever operation I want to do, it has to happen, right? In ATAS case. So all those things will come into ATAS and all these embedded systems, microcontroller based systems. This will come into embedded systems only. We'll discuss about that. Then it should be efficient and stable. Like I purchased remote control today and tomorrow it is gone. Then you won't go for that, right? So it should be stable. And today it is performing, all the operations are good. And tomorrow when I change volume, it is changing channel. When I change channel, it is changing volume. No, it is not acceptable, right? And that is what reliable. And then perform specific task. I designed remote control for TV. It should work for TV. It should not work for my refrigerator, right? So tasks is specific task. So should perform design task only, and it should consume less power. So I'm putting battery today. I just inserted two batteries, and tomorrow if battery is drained, so your whole life will go into purchasing into battery, right? So do you really go for that kind of embedded system? No, we won't. So we need better power provided systems, right? So it should work, means if I purchase a battery, at least 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, some batteries 1 year will go. So whichever system gives better performance and better power consumptions, I mean less power consumptions, will go for that system, right? So these are the characteristics of embedded system. Okay, so now just try to understand what is embedded system and what is not embedded system. So whatever household devices, most of the household devices like AC, wherever you are doing just performing a specific task, a particular task you are performing. AC, it will just cool down your, it will just give the cooling effect. A refrigerator, it will just provide the refrigerator functionality. TV, it will provide only TV functionality. Okay. Washing machine, its job is to do only washing clothes, whatever you put, right? Remote control, its job is to control the devices remotely. You take printer, its job is to just print. Okay, so the system which is designed for a specific task, those are called embedded system. That's it. Then what is general purpose systems? You take your laptop or your workstation or your server, you can do hell lot of things with that, right? So you can do, you can design some, you can do some interior design, exterior design. You can do the modeling, I mean device modeling, I'm saying. Okay, and you can use PowerPoint, you can use Excel, Word, you can play a game, you can watch, uh, you can stream videos, you can play music, you can do lot many things with your desktop or your laptop, right? Then these are not called embedded systems, these are called general purpose systems. Okay, yeah, let's move on to next topic. Differences between microcontroller, microprocessor and SoC. So SoC, yeah, let's see. So first let's understand microprocessor, so you'll understand microcontroller SoC better. Okay, so microprocessor, now you have a laptop. In your laptop you have a processor which is separate chip. You will see that Intel inside, right? So that is a processor, it's separate chip. Okay, it contains only one CPU, means your microprocessor is only one chip, and whatever operation it wants to do, it needs support from the external hardware. Like you have a microprocessor and all the components externally connected to it. Okay, so this is called your microprocessor, and all other components are externally connected to it. Okay, to get uh, the functionalities out of it, means if I want to communicate with some peripherals like a timer or serial port or whatever operations I want to do, so I have to connect those devices. Means let's say I want to have some uh, uh, game application, I want to design some game applications, so you may have some GPU, that is again separate thing. Okay, you may have a GPU, and there whatever instructions you have written for the game, those instructions are uh, s- you are just directing it to GPU instead of CPU. Okay, but again this is GPU also one of the processor, right? Again it is a separate hardware, and whatever data you have put in your RAM or ROM, the data and instructions you this particular GPU will use and perform the operations, whatever operations you want to do. So it basically, processor doesn't contain any other components like RAM, ROM, anything. It doesn't contain, it is not a single pack. So microprocessor is a single IC which have only processor, and all other components are externally connected. Okay. Therefore, microprocessor devices are power consuming devices because all these components are externally connected. So this component needs, so externally connected means it may be huge device. This may be huge device. Maybe you have GB, some GB hard disk you have, some terabyte hard disk you have, some RAM also some GBs. Okay. When you have bulky devices, obviously it will come more power, right? And you are doing big operations like gaming applications you are doing, so obviously it will consume more power. Okay, so microprocessors present themselves with a high processing capacity, but upgradable memory makes them best equipped for performing complex tasks like software development, website development, gaming. Means if you can have this RAM, ROM, and hard disk, whatever disk size, if you can increase the size, then you can have more number of code you can save, or you can develop more number of code and you can save into your hard disk. And when you have written more very huge code, then it has to have more memory, means RAM size should be more, so it can be operations can be performed very quickly. If your RAM size is less, then swapping swap out will take a lot of time and you won't get the better performance. So RAM size also should be more, and you can have more number of functionalities developed on microprocessor. Okay, so in microprocessor case, so basically your laptop and your desktop servers, those will come into microprocessor category, microprocessor based systems. Then microcontroller based systems. So microcontroller is single IC. Okay, it is a single IC where, so this is the single IC actually. Okay, so this is microprocessor. In this single IC, you will be having a processor core and you will be having all the components, maybe peripheral also, peripheral controller, I2C controller, SPI controller. All those things also will be available within single package. Okay, you no need to connect any hardware externally. So that's why your remote control is very tiny device where you have only one microcontroller, where everything, means all your processor, your memory, and whatever peripherals you have, all those things are packed into a single IC. Okay, so microcontrollers are single IC, that is mini computer. Okay, individually, microcontrollers are complete and self-sufficient. You no need to connect any hardware externally. They have all the essential components they need, like RAM, ROM, whatever we have discussed, right? Yeah. That is microcontroller. So now, so since they don't have any external components connected, so they will consume very less power and very small devices. Okay, like these are the microcontrollers. Okay, then SOC. Where exactly you use SOCs? in AI, whatever nowadays you are seeing AI ML kind of devices or home automation kind of devices, right? Uh, and your mobile phone, game consoles. So all these are designed on top of SoCs. So if you take your mobile phone will be having Qualcomm. You can see the Qualcomm processor or MediaTek processor. Okay, and we say that processor, but that is a single chip. Again, it is a hybrid of microcontroller and microprocessor. This is a single chip. Okay, when I call it is a single chip, it is kind of microcontroller, right? But here, whatever CPU, GPU I have, right, those are very powerful compared to your microcontroller. In microcontroller, you have less powerful CPU and other components. But in SoC, you have more powerful CPU, GPU, DSP, and you have your modem, you have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. All the things are packed into a single IC. Okay, so everything is packed into a single IC, and all those components are more powerful. So that's why it is a hybrid of your microprocessor and microcontroller. So this basically we have in our mobile phone, tablets, nowadays in TV also, Android TV you can see this, and uh, game consoles, lot many things. Okay, SoCs, and in satellite or in most of the big projects also it will be used. Okay. So SoC is an advanced version of microcontroller or microprocessor. It integrates them with advanced peripherals like GPU, CPU, and Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, etc. etc. Okay. Yeah. So now if you see the differences here, so microprocessor, this is microprocessor, right? Microprocessor. So here you can see this is a processor and all other components are externally connected. And in microcontroller case, this is the processor and components are connected to it, but all these are packed into a single chip. Here, this GPU, you cannot see GPU here because it is very costly device. Okay, parallel processing device. DSP, again parallel processing device. You cannot see these devices here connected into your microcontroller case. So SoC again a single chip where you have more powerful devices. Not only these, many other devices, more powerful devices are connected internally. So this is the difference between microprocessor, microcontroller, and SoC.